Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it to. I'm Bushka. Thank you very much for joining me here today on the Pubg Mobile official channel. Remember to like the videos and subscribe. And if you haven't downloaded the game already, there is a download link in the description below. Now, this is a topic that is really, really close to my heart because my favorite thing to do in all of Pubg Mobile is brawl multiple opponents at once and come out on top like a boss. Only you don't always do that. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I'm here to tell you that there are some secrets to winning the brawl, and there are some definite processes and tactics that you want to put in your gameplay to become better at it. Now, there are no shortcuts to this. You've got to practice. Jump into war mode and play a whole lot of war mode and brawl people out and then respawn and brawl people out again, and you'll get better at it. And drop the hot places, drop the parts of the map where you're going to run into opponents and fight them. Because at some point in time in Pubg Mobile, you're going to get pushed on. And if you're not prepped for it, and if you haven't had that experience, then quite simply you will get beat. And that'd be a shame, because the best fun you can have in this game is brawling. Now, I'm happy to tell you that there are some really simple things you can do to improve your CQC and to come out on top and win more of these brawls. And they are nearly all centered around thinking and being creative and constantly being mobile in your gameplay. Now, it can be as simple as that. You get someone peeking a window and then you push ASAP. And that's generally your stock standard double clear, is someone gets knocked and then you take advantage of that knock and you leverage it into an easy shot on a knocked opponent. And I just want to be clear here. I'm not arrogant about this at all, and I'm not big-headed, and I don't want you to think that I win all these. I make lots of mistakes, and that's good, because the best way you can learn is make mistakes. Like, the more mistakes you're making, the better you're getting. That's all there is to it. As humans, we learn visually and we learn from screwing up the first time. I mean, watch this. This is me and Ouija playing Crown Squads, and hey, I go and clear the knock instead of, oh, there's a guy up there and I'm dead. Look at that again. This is me being an absolute muppet. There's a guy. All I've got to do is clear the last guy. That guy is irrelevant. But no, I have to go and start shooting the down guy and get hit by the guy who's up and about. So number one, the first thing I want to talk to you about, for God's sakes, get mobile. If you are not moving, if you are in a fixed position, or if you are fighting from fixed position to fixed position, man, you can be exploited. And I'm just pressuring them there. I'm not even spending the whole time. Like, that's not what it's all about. I'm looking at the footsteps. There's 3 sets of footsteps all around me. I know there's a guy coming underneath me. I'm just going to jump out, and you can sit there, and then I'm going to pre-fire down this corridor because I can see the footsteps coming. So I'm going to pre-fire again, and they walk into it. Mobility is absolutely everything, guys. I can't emphasize this enough. You need to think of it like this. Someone that is tunneling down one specific area of the map and being completely immobile is not going to be able to dictate the terms of the engagement unless you walk directly in front of them and do exactly what they want you to do. I'm going to give you a really good example of this in the next clip, which is a squad in Pubg who are pushing up from the southeast section of town. Now, I know they're there. I've seen them having a bit of gunfire. I've cleared a few myself, and I'm looking to hit them as they basically come down these corridors either side of this salmon pink house, but I realize they're a bit spread out. What I'm going to do now is drop a Gren in this salmon pink house. Now, there's a doorway from one room to the next down there. I'm going to try and bounce the Gren through that doorway. That will enable me to have the maximum opportunity to clear this target, and then they are going to be stuck in a fixed position. Now, the reason they're going to be stuck in a fixed position is because I knock a guy with a Gren. So they're a decent squad. They go to overlook, one of them starts reviving, one of them starts guarding, and that's when I get to basically pick the engagement. I'm not going in the house. I'm going to move from window to window. I'm going to strafe out, reload, hide behind the cover, and then I'm going to come back. And the only time I'm going to come out to shoot is when I'm actually pressing the button. It's all about creating these opportunities. And then because, I know he's the last guy to clear and the last guy in the corner's knocked, we pick up another 4 kills. Another case in point, these guys are engaging a squad that is to their north. They are guarding down this corridor like it's the start of Star Wars and Darth Vader's about to burst onto the starship. And that gives me the opportunity to basically waltz in here and backdoor them pretty hard. Now, this is not, I'm a claw player, so my mobility is good. That's something I've got going for me. I'm able to strafe fire very effectively, and I'm running 2 SMGs just for that very, very reason. But for all that, that wasn't what won me that engagement. It was the fact that they were looking in the other direction. And they were looking in the other direction because they were locked into a gunfight with someone else. You've got to take these opportunities and turn them into wins. And you really, really can. You can take these opportunities and make them some of your best gameplay because you're mobile. Now, that's mobility, and I cannot emphasize enough how that is just super important. But there's more to it than just that. And I'm not going to talk to you today about the footsteps and... Well, I've done hot drop masterclasses. I've done a house-to-house masterclass on my channel. I've done all that kind of stuff. And I do this stuff on my channel. I'm doing a strafe and pre-fire video on my channel right now. That's the Bushka. And I want to talk to you about Peekaboo. Now, I did a video on this recently, but I didn't go into great depth on it. But here's the concept. You don't want to be in full view of anyone else in the game unless you are firing the gun. Likewise, you don't want to be firing the gun unless you can see someone else. So what you want to be doing is peek-a-booming. You want to peek out, you want to boom, and then you want to pull back. You would have probably noticed in nearly all these clips how often I do this. I strafe out, I fire. I strafe out, I fire. I pull back, I strafe out, and quite often I'm firing before I'm even strafing out. That pre-fire is clutch. It is absolutely important. If you are just spraying at a wall, hoping that someone walks in front, then you are going to be bitterly disappointed a whole lot of the time. You want to make sure that if you are pre-firing or spraying, it is with a target in mind. Otherwise, what's going to happen to you is you are going to fire the gun. When the clip finishes, they are going to waltz into wherever it is you're hiding, and they are going to wreck you. It's really important that we get 100% on the same page with this, because it is something that will ruin your life if you want to get involved in a whole lot of brawls. So, you talked about the mobility. We've talked about the peek-a-boom. Let's finish this off with a little bit more about being creative. School is a great example of this. Have a look at all the different windows and levels. You can jump out a window onto the awning above an entranceway, move to the next room without actually, going through the hallway, and backdoor people. You can push through staircases. You can go down corridors and end up in a whole different part of the building. You can shoot from one side to the other. All these things are going to give you opportunities to, they're going to give you opportunities to get an advantage. You want to put shots in without taking shots back. Making good trades is how you win gunfights. What do I mean by good trades? There's a rabbit hole here. There's a whole lot of different things that go into this kind of gameplay. But making a good trade is basically this. You're going to start firing first. You're going to hit enough shots so that even when they turn around and hit you once or twice, they're going to get cleared. So you're giving up, say, 40 hit points for 100 hit points. That's a good trade. Clearing a gun is a great trade. Look at where I'm going all over creation for this kill. And this guy I'm fighting is moving everywhere. So at the same time, we are trying to track each other, get a flank on each other, and get a shot on each other. He's watching the minimap looking at the footsteps. I'm watching the minimap looking at the footsteps. There he is. He's right above me now. I went like a K out of my way to get that kill. I went up, I went down, I went outside, I went inside. You've got to be creative like that. You've got to think your way through the gunfight. And it will be daunting at first. But if you can get it done, if you can start moving fluidly from one spot to the next in a way that the other guy isn't, straight away, you're going to win these hot drops. You're going to improve your average kills per death, you're going to improve your average damage, and you're sure as hell going to play a lot longer in a lot fewer games. And I think that's really the aim here. I think that's what you want to be looking for. So to recap, number 1, get mobile. Number 2, peekaboo. Number 3, outthink the other dude. If you can do those 3 things, you're going to win the brawl and you're going to go home a very, very happy camper. I'm Bushka. Thank you so much for watching the videos. I really do appreciate the opportunity to talk to a wider audience here. There's over 500,000 subs here, so obviously it is a hell of a channel, and there are some fantastic content creators here. So do yourself a massive favor and set the notifications on your YouTube button so you always get yelled at when someone drops something here. And more than that, remember, even when you lose one of these brawls, have a look at what the other guy did right. Look at what you did wrong. And why don't you take what the other guy did right and put it down the end of your gun and use it next time so that you get to be the guy doing the clearing rather than the guy getting cleared. I'm Bushka, you're the humans. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves, and as always, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.